So this is Mumin Radi. You're watching Third Eye Philosophy, and I have a guest on today. Um, Someone I met on my Facebook, and she was telling me that she always thought she always felt like she had like conservative views and stuff like that. So I wanted to get to the bottom of, you know. So just introduce yourself. Tell them who you are, what's your name, where you from, and then tell us uh, when do you feel like you had your walk away moment?
Yes, okay. Well, my name is Alisha. I'm actually from Florida, Broward County, the crazy part of Florida with all the drama that was going on. And I'm normally not into politics. I'm more into hair and makeup. I'm a cosmetologist, and I also sell insurance on the side as well. Um, but what made me come into my turning point pretty much away from the Democratic Party was honestly from watching all of the YouTube videos and all the walkaway videos. It was around the same time as most people was when Trump was running for president. What really got me was when Hillary Clinton was like she wanted open borders. And I was like, no, 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 that's not happening. No, I don't want that. And that's when I was like, you know what, let me pretty much see what Trump was talking about. So for me, it was just, I just wanted Trump because he was different. For me, he was different. He had no filter, and that's what a lot of people like to say, or at least a lot of black people like to say. We like to say, let's keep it 100, let's keep everything real. So
Right.
I felt like Trump is that person. He's going to keep it real. He's going to keep it 100. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. So that's what made me interested in him. And really, what made me start to do more of my research was that I wanted to figure out why did everybody hate him. It wasn't just the Democratic Party that hated him, it was the Republican Party that hated him too. So it
Right.
was like, what's the problem? Why does everybody hate this guy? So I decided to research the Republican and Democratic Party, just to see the difference between the two parties, what was going on. Come to find out, the Democratic Party was the party that hated black people. They were against everything. They didn't want us to be free. They wanted us to be slaves. They was against civil rights. They were against us integrating. So I'm over here. I'm like, okay, so what are we doing? Like, what is the black community doing? Why are we voting for some people who are against us? So, and that's when I came to my point and I was like, you know what? The Democratic Party's not for me. I was thinking about going to be a Republican, but then I was taught that, well, you can't really be a Republican either because, I mean, it's not that they did a lot of bad things to us, but they did some bad things. So I was like, well, I would pretty much consider myself a conservative, independent person. So that's kind of what made me walk away from the Democratic Party was that.
Yeah. One thing that everything that you said is exactly what I saw. I saw that about almost 10 years ago. You know, once I saw it, I had to stop too. I had to stop supporting it and just decided to have so much more facts about
Right.
what has been happening in the past about what's going on. What a lot of black people do is they don't look at the whole picture. They just look at whatever's presented right there in front of them, and then they judge according to that at that moment what's going on. But they don't look at the whole picture. You see, most of the black populations in masses are living under a democratic area,
Right.
Democratic district, democratic cities that's run by Democrats, and Republicans rarely ever win in democratic cities. In areas. You know, and what they don't know is that when it's time to present a bill, you see the Democratic Party will come to the black community and say, we need to do this. We want to give you health care. We want to give you this and that. They take those bills back to the Senate, and then they have the liberal Republicans that sign off on it because you don't need as many votes from Republicans as many as you would need if you presented the bill. So they will get their liberal Republicans and the liberal Republicans and they'll just vote for it, you know, and that's how we've been getting duped for a very long time. And then for things that they really don't want to give it to us, they'll say, okay, we're going to try to, you know, let's say, okay, try to stop crime or something. You know,
Right.
they will take a bill, bring it to the Republicans, and those very same liberal Republicans will not vote for it. And then they'll come back and say it's the Republicans' fault. You see what I'm saying? But they already had it in place that if the Republicans don't vote for it, then it won't happen. You know, so they know that, but this is something that they don't tell or teach to Democratic people, the supporters. You know, and then now they just throw the blame on the Republicans as why we can't do this for you. You know, so that's just is a dupe. It's a scam. You know, and it worked together like that. You know, you say you was watching a lot of walkaway videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, those videos encouraged a lot of people. I even got my video up there. You know, what happened with my video is I came out and I told people, you know, why did I convert to a conservative, you know, time ago. I actually dropped that video like a month before the walkaway movement started, before it came up. I just took that video and I said, well, this is my walkaway moment. And then I changed the title of it, you know. So you don't hear me in the video talking about walkaway or nothing like that. I'm just talking about my transition moment.
Your experience, yeah.
You know, and it brought a lot of spark to my channel. You know, it brought a lot of subscribers. You know, so I thought I might just stick to this because this actually helps. You know, Brandon Strock is from out here. He's from the city, New York. You know, so I thought it'd be a really good idea. What you think been going on with Kanye West, as far as like how they treating him, the things he said and stuff like that? I mean, do you agree with what he been saying, or do you may think he's crazy, or do he look crazy to you? I mean, what's up with that?
I used to think Kanye was crazy, but so did all of my friends. But I was always the one that used to say, "Y'all, we gotta go and get Kanye. Like, we gotta go and rescue our brother. Like, something's wrong." Like, I never felt nothing. I just felt like he needed his family to be there, in my opinion. But then it's like when he started like talking all of these things, and I was like, well, what is he talking about? Why is he sounding crazy? What is all of this that he's saying? And since I've been doing my research now, I'm like, well, maybe he's not crazy. Like maybe he has freedom of speech for himself. And a lot of people don't have that. Like me, myself, I didn't have that because I was scared. Like when I was starting to come out and like starting to question the Democratic Party, all of my friends were like, what is wrong with you? Are you crazy? What is it that you see on that side? And it was like the Democratic Party has never done anything for us. Like we've been voting for them for how long? Our ancestors wasn't Democrat. They're like, what is it that this party's doing for us that's making us stay? And the only thing that they're doing for us is giving us handouts, keeping us in the system, keeping us on welfare, keeping us in single family homes. And that's the only thing that they're doing. And Kanye West is just trying to tell everybody, like, wake up, stop being a part of the plantation. Like you can be better people. You don't have to be a part of welfare. You don't have to be a part of the system. And one of the things that I feel like there's this song, I don't know if you heard it, it's called Living My Best Life. I think it's by Snoop Dogg and somebody else.
Bill DeVol.
Yeah, that guy. And that song, it's like, I feel like that song that also set us back. Because it's like, oh, you living good off your food stamp cards, or you made a killing last year off fraud. And it's like, what? Like, that's not, living on food stamps isn't, that's not what it's supposed to be. Food stamps isn't for you to be living your best life off of it. It's supposed to be something that's there to help you and for you to get off. But everybody that I know where I stay, everybody wants to be on food stamps. Everybody wants to be on Section 8. Everybody wants to be on welfare because it's good. It helps.
It helps and it's free.
And it's comfortable. And it's like that's not what that's meant to be. It's not meant to be comfortable. It's not meant to be a lavish life. That's not what it's for. So now when Trump is coming and saying that he's cutting all of that stuff, and I'm like, good, it needs to be cut. I need some of my tax money back into my pocket. Some of that stuff needs to be done. Like, there's a lot of people. I'm tired. I'm personally tired of going to the grocery store. I'm a single parent, and I can't get food stamps. And I'm tired of going to the store with my basket empty, and I know somebody who, a friend or whoever, they're living on food stamps, and I know there's nothing wrong with them. They can get a job. Their basket's full, mine is empty, and it's because of me that their basket is full. So for me, I feel like we as a black community need to do better, and that's what Kanye's trying to do. He's trying to reach out, especially for his own city. Obama was from Chicago, and Obama didn't do nothing for Chicago. I heard Kanye saying he was going to go back and try to open up, I forget, the Adidas factory there in Chicago. And I looked up a lot of things. When you were saying that a lot of the Democrats run a lot of the black communities, they do. I literally researched. I don't know who video I watched, but they were like, you have to start in your own city. You have to see who the people are in your own city. So I was like, all right. I researched the worst cities in America. And when I did that, I found obviously, what is it, Detroit, Chicago, Baltimore, Queens, like all of those cities. There's a lot more cities, but come to find out, all of those cities are Democratic ran. Flint, all of those cities are Democratic ran. So it's like, okay, so if all of the cities are ran by Democrats, what's the problem? Why are these cities so bad? If they're all
Right.
ran by Democrat, by people who are supposed to care for us. Flint still don't have clean water. Chicago still is murder capital. Like, if these are Democratic ran cities, what's the problem? Why aren't they better? Why haven't they gotten better over the years?
For decades and decades and decades, Democrats have been running those cities. You know, Republicans and have never, they barely win anything, barely a seat. They can't barely win anything in those cities. You know, and not just Democrat supporters. You got a lot of liberal Republicans that
Yeah.
that want it to be that. It's an ideology thing. They want us to think it's, oh, Democrat versus Republicans. No, it's more than that. It's the who's a conservative, who's a liberal. Well, I would say a modern day liberal because the meaning of liberal is not bad at all. I'm actually a liberal, but I'm like more like the classical type of liberal. You know,
Right.
actually like the Thomas Jefferson liberal. You
Yeah.
know? So nowadays we gotta say, okay, I'm not a liberal. I'll just say I'm a conservative. You know,
Right.
but yeah, they take over. They take over once they take over the cities. You know, they want black and not just black people, Hispanics. They want the illegal immigrants. They're trying to pull them in. They actually told illegal immigrants that they can vote, which is completely illegal. They openly doing illegal stuff, and how can we even trust them? I mean, it's to the point where, you know, they own 90% of the media. This is why it seems like nobody likes Trump. You know, if you in a Democratic city, you know, you could barely talk about how much you supported Trump. I almost got into a fight in two different bars, you know, and one of them supposed to be my friend. You know,
Yeah.
just for me spreading my support for Trump. See, on all my social media, that's all I do. I talk politics. You know, I'll post up good content and stuff like that within politics. And a lot of my friends and family don't like it. You know, so they just either block me or or they block my posts, whatever the case is. But the Democratic Party, they want the illegal immigrants to come over so they'll be able to give them free stuff, you know, promise them all this free stuff. And then they come over here, then they try to get them to vote because they see that they're losing a lot of the black votes. A lot of black people is they're waking up to it, and they're not messing with the Democratic Party, and you know, they notice that. So, do you have any idea what they said? They said that the Russians, the
Yeah.
Russians, and they said they intersected the election, in the election, and they convinced black people not to vote for Hillary Clinton. See, that this is what the media does. Everything we done, everything I've been doing, and what conservative been doing, a lot of influence online that you say you saw and stuff like that. They tried to say the walkaway movement was Russians. You know, like they just take lies and lies and lies. And the question is, why do people keep falling for this? But the thing is, if you're living in a democratic city, every channel you turn to on the TV or the newspaper that you're getting, 99% of the chance is Democrat. It's run by Democrat ideology. You know, so one thing that people need to understand is that first you got to get out of that loophole. And the only way to do that is to turn on your internet and to research people that think differently. That's what I did.
And that's why I ended up getting a new Facebook because I was tired of my old Facebook. Every time I turned on my Facebook, it was either, I mean, I do understand that there are police shootings of shooting black people, but it's like, I don't think it's to that extreme as they make it. And a lot of the shootings were under the Obama administration. So I don't understand. And I don't like that every time I turn it on something, a white lady called a black lady on something, and it's like, yeah, I'm tired of seeing that. Like, I don't want to see that anymore. I'd rather see something uplifting and more positive. I'm tired of them saying that, oh, there was an imaginary caravan, and caravan is over there in Mexico. Like, what?
Yeah,
I'm just
they
tired
right
of
after
all the
this.
lies. It's a
Yeah,
lot of lies. And even in my own neighborhoods, like with them actually bringing in the immigrants, I honestly believe it's true. I think this could be a reach, but for me, I live in the same neighborhoods, but I lived in like two different hoods pretty much. So where I used to live and where I live now, we used to have what is called Winn Dixies. These are normal grocery stores. Now they don't have Winn Dixies in white neighborhoods. They have grocers called Publix. I noticed that they started um, taking away all the Winn Dixies in our neighborhoods, and you wouldn't imagine what they're replacing them with. They're replacing them with Spanish grocers. In my old neighborhood, now they have a Market El Presidente something in my old black neighborhood. Now in the neighborhood that I'm living now, there used to be a Winn Dixie is replaced with Fresco. And the signs in there are in Spanish and in English. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Why would they be replacing our Winn Dixies with Spanish restaurant, like not restaurants, but Spanish grocery stores? A lot in my hood, I have Fresco, that's a Hispanic grocer. We have Aldi's, Bravo, all of those are more like Hispanic grocers, which is very weird to me. So that was something small that
yeah.
I noticed
That's
was going on in
what
my neighborhood.
they don't want black people controlling their own neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when a lot of these immigrants come over here, they give them a package deal, and within this package deal is loans to run a business. You know, so a lot of them come over here with loans, and they open businesses, and a lot of that money is not really circulated in the community. They didn't grow up in the communities.
Right.
Times out of 10, they don't care about the communities. They come over, they open their stores, and they make the money. And the only thing that money go to is either their rent for the store, rent for the home, and then the rest of the money is going home so they can build at home. A lot of the money being exported out of the country, and not really circulating in our community. So it's like the money come in our community with us working, but we going and giving that money to them, and then the money going overseas,
Right.
the country. And right now, here in New York, most of our bodegas and delis is run by Muslims from all
Yeah.
over, the Middle East. They got Muslim stands, like, because before the Muslims, it was Spanish people, the Latinos, and they were doing the same deal with the Latinos. Got them all here. Now the Latinos is like, once a lot of them get into politics and they see what they can do to try to better their businesses and stuff like that, and they see the regulations the Democrats put on these businesses, they realize they can't survive. So they're looking for other solutions, and they end up coming on this side, and they were like, "Hey, listen, we want free market." You know, we want free market. We want to, be able to work without all these government regulations and taxes on our businesses, because we can't thrive. We can't grow. We can't expand. You know, and now they can see a lot of his Latinos is not rolling with them like that no more. Now they bringing all the Muslims in, and the Muslims is taking over a lot of these bodegas. You know, where I live right now is like every store is run by a Muslim. You know,
Let me ask you something, and not to cut you off and talk about something different. How do you feel? I heard that New York just raised the minimum wage to 15 an hour. How does that affect you?
yeah, they raised it. Actually, well, my raise just went up a little bit, but it's good, but it's not good at the same time, because now the businesses out here, what they're going to do is they're going to hire less. You know, when you raise wages, they can't afford but so many people.
Right.
You know, so they're going to hire less. You know, and hope that the business do good. You know, but what it do is um, they either going to drop people's hours, working hours, and they're going to be doing a lot of work themselves. Like the owner, if you own a store, imagine you own a store and you barely making by just to pay the bills and the taxes and whatever. You know, and you need people to work. You know, what are you going to do when something like this happens? You got to pay them more money now, but your business clientele it didn't get better. You know,
Mm-hmm.
your clientele didn't get better. You know, but you pay more to the people, more to your employees. So that actually hurt businesses now. So now, as far as people getting a job, it can slow it down now. It can slow that down because of the fact that minimum wage went up. And what can make things better so minimum wage and stuff like that go further up is if the economy is thriving. We have to, like Trump is doing, bring the manufacturing companies back, you know, um, and taking away regulation off the businesses, so therefore the business be able to thrive, so they'll be able to do money, so they'll be able to have a little more money, so they can do better promote, so their business could do better, so they'll be able to expand their business. You know, but minimum wage is good for me. It's good for the people. Is what I'm trying to say. But for the businesses, it can be rough on mediocre businesses like mom and pop stores and stuff like that. Small mediocre businesses that's just getting in and trying to and trying to and
Right. No, I was just noticing because that's what they were saying here in Florida is that they were going to raise the minimum wage, and then after when I heard that they were going to do that, I saw some of the comments about when they did do it for New York that a lot of the rent went up, a lot of everything went up. So that's why I was like, well, what's the point of raising and what's the point of doing minimum wage if everything is just going to go up? It doesn't help. So,
a lot of things ain't really tied into the wage. It's just people know that now they get more money. I
hmm
mean, certain people, it's like if you rent out a house, and the rent, let's say, is $1,000, and your client is he's making enough to pay $1,000 a month, and it's easy for him now, but now minimum wage went up, he's making a little more money, so it's just in a lot of stances, it's a lot of greedy people just wanting a little more. Just like a lot of these corner stores that ain't supposed to charge to sell food, they charging, they taxing for food, and they ain't supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to pay taxes on food, but people do it anyway. And being that the ordinary person don't understand that, they don't know who to argue, they don't know who to talk to about it. They just let it happen,
right.
you know. But that's pretty much what it is about that. Minimum wage is good for the moment, but at the time, it's gonna, for people that's looking for work and stuff like that, it can get a little rough. But being that jobs are coming in,
Right.
it's still gonna be more opportunity. But a lot of jobs ain't gonna hire as much because of the minimum wage is higher. So it's like nobody's really gonna see or feel a change because of
Yeah,
minimum
that's
wage.
what I figured. So it's like kind of pointless, kind of, if you think about it, to raise it because Yeah, I'm at $15 an hour now, but being at what $8 an hour, it still doesn't make a difference because I still can't afford that apartment that I really wanted to go get.
Right.
So
Right.
then to me, it just feels pointless.
Yeah. A lot of people talking, oh, yeah, up or whatever the case is. A lot of things is not in Trump's hands. There's a
Yeah,
lot of things Trump cannot do. And you got to remember, more than half a percentage of the economy is ran by a bunch of Democratic liberals.
Democrat people anyway. Yeah.
About liberals, it's ran by liberals. And they want to sabotage Trump, so they will do anything to sabotage his presidency so he could lose in the next term. That's pretty much what's happening. And
Which
you
he
got the
probably won't lose in the next time.
to crash the dollar.
Hmm.
They threatening to raise the interest rate so high to the point where it start crashing. Because the ordinary person that's not into politics, first thing they're going to do is think it's Trump's fault.
Right.
But Trump don't have, like I said, he don't have control over a lot of things they do. He just the overseer. He's just the overseer. If something ain't happening right, then he steps in and see what he can do about it. But for the most part, most of these businesses is not controlled by the government or Trump. It's controlled by the people who own the business.
Right.
But that's what's going on about that. You have any more questions for me?
Nothing that I can think of. I mean, I've watched a lot of the videos, which were very informative. So I'm still learning. I'm still looking into a lot of stuff. So it's just a work in progress for me because everybody's saying like, "Oh, you don't know. You're just going off of what you think the other side is saying." And I'm like, well, I'm still doing my research. I'm still getting to like know who's against us, which party to vote for. But honestly, like I like the group of black conservatives. Like I wish I can go out to Brexit. I think what is it this month in Cali? Like I really wish I could go out, but I mean I can't afford it.
Is
So
in California?
yeah, I think so. It is in Cali.
It'll be the
So
first. It'll be the first rally, Brexit rally,
yeah,
something like that.
they look like a nice group of like black people that's just willing like no fights, no arguments. Every time we go somewhere down here, there's always a fight, there's always a shooting. People never get along, and to be around a group of black people that actually can get along for a, a long time. Like when I go out, there's a fight within like 5 minutes of me being out.
Mm-hmm.
That's always something that I've always wanted to go to. And unfortunately, I do have to find new friends because I lost a lot of my friends because of this. Because they're like, oh, well, they took it okay when I was like, I'm no longer a Christian. That's something for another day. But they were like, oh, okay, you're not a Christian anymore? Yeah, neither are we. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, that's cool. But then the second I was like, oh, well, I don't want to be a Democrat no more, they were like, excuse me, what? Like, what's wrong? Like, bye. No, we don't know who you are. We're disowning you, and they don't care for my company anymore. Like, none of them called me. My best friend actually said that I lack common sense that most people have. That's what she said to me, and since then I've been. It started in the middle of December was when I started to like come out and ask questions and figure out like why are we Democrats? Like what has the Democrat Party done? And then they tried to say, well, Obama he did a lot of stuff for us, which I didn't see. And then I'm trying to tell them, well, Trump is doing a lot of stuff for us. They're like, oh, well, he's not doing anything. He did the prison reform because his son-in-law dad was in prison, so that's the only reason why he did that. He's
Yeah,
giving money back to the HBCUs because he's doing that for his own benefit, like things like that.
and the Democrats not. They're all that free stuff. What do you think they want? They want you to vote for them.
And they're just giving